Okay. Well then, we're gonna throw it back over to Veyron again. Man, he's run like a million things this... But we're gonna throw it back over to Veyron for not Project Gotham. It's Midnight Club 2. I apologize.
Hello, it's me again. This is not Forza, this is Midnight Club 2. We'll be doing the LA % category, essentially the LA campaign, or Los Angeles if you prefer. This game it's essentially like the Fast and Furious movies. It's a very street racing game. I'm very good at this. I'm joined by the teacher, LR Flu.
Hello, yeah, I am LR Flu. I submitted this game. I've definitely been hanging around the speedrunning scene for this game for quite a while, so I know it pretty well. So yeah.
Alright. Save game. Speedrom. Okay, we'll do speedrom then, because I can't fit on it. Yeah. We are doing speedrom. Let me just quickly... I gotta turn cinematic camera off. It makes the run very easy when I switch to the bike, which is the main vehicle we want to use. We unlock it a bit later on, but it'll be really helpful. So we start the career mode here. This is Moses.
Timing starts, by the way, starting the career mode, so...
Okay. Essentially, Moses is like the first boss, if you like. Yeah, time starts when I press the headlight. Time will start in 3, 2, 1. Time start now. So we're gonna follow Moses through the streets of LA.
Yeah, so Moses is sort of your introduction to the game. He sort of acts as a tutorial, so... this definitely gives sort of the pattern of how this game works, which is you find someone to race in the overworld, you follow them to the first race, and then you do a series of races against them.
There's a corner coming up here. Well, okay, Moses, what are you doing?
Apparently trying to run over the pedestrians. Yeah, definitely.
Because I believe you said that the game was originally on PS2, but they ported it to PC and original Xbox.
Yeah, so this is actually the only game in the series to get a PC port. The others were PS2 and original Xbox for the second and third game, and then the last game in the series, Midnight Club Los Angeles, that was an Xbox 360 and PS3 game.
We need a new Midnight Club game.
We very much do, yes. So this is the first race of the game, which is very much a straight line shot, just kind of getting you used to the checkpoint system. There's also a lot of like scripted traffic in this race to kind of get you used to dodging cars, like this big truck here, which you can definitely get in front of if you're going fast enough. Otherwise, you can also drive underneath it, which is very fun.
So when you said it was like the Fast and Furious movies, you meant like the first 3 where it was still about street racing.
Yeah, I probably should have clarified the first 3. There's no cars going to space or anything in this game.
I mean, you can take them to Paris later on, but...
That's true, yeah. Nice spin there. Right, now Moses...
Yeah, so we're skipping all these cutscenes, but you do get these kind of little interludes where you can kind of hear the inner thoughts of the person you're racing against.
Yeah, Moses is upset that we beat him, so he's challenged us to a one-on-one race.
Yeah, and so this narratively is kind of meant to be a pink slip race. The idea being that, you know, the winner would get the loser's car. Now, because you only have the one car, the game doesn't necessarily want to force you to give it up, so if you lose, you just have to do the race again. Pink slip races are something that the series does play with a bit more in future titles, where you can actually lose your car, but because of the way car unlocks work in this game, it was not implemented that way.
We have a drift there, save some speed. This game's not easy though, I should probably also mention.
Yeah, it plays very differently from, like, a sim racer like Forza. It's very weird feeling at times.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Rockstar game.
Yeah, it is a Rockstar game.
Yep. And in fact, this was the first game that Rockstar San Diego released under that name. Before that, they were known as Angel Studios, which is how they released the first Midnight Club game. This series also was kind of partially based on another series called Midtown Madness, which was published by Microsoft, and that was for PC. And so you saw there that you took a shortcut through a building by smashing through the glass, which is a very common motif in this game. There's a lot of, like, finding your own routes, right? Because to complete the race, all you have to do is hit all the checkpoints. The game doesn't really care how you get from checkpoint to checkpoint, and we'll see them play with that, particularly here with Steven.
Very Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
I might be going a bit wild because I'm playing on a keyboard, so the controls are a little bit like more sharp, I guess. I don't think I phrased that correctly, but yeah.
Yeah, on PC you can definitely play this with either controller or keyboard, and honestly, there's a bit of debate around that, just because controller you have kind of the analog input, whereas keyboard can make certain tricks that you'll see later in this run a lot easier.
Yeah.
And so this here is a time trial race, basically. You're not racing against anyone, you just have to reach the end before you run out of time, and each checkpoint gives you a little bit more time. This is a type of race that you'll see kind of throughout the game a few times, but I think this is the only one that you'll see in LA%.
What? I'm going back to Forza after this run is done.
And so here we get the first unordered race. So as I mentioned, the game does like to play with kind of different race types sometimes, and so this one, you have to hit all the checkpoints before you reach the finish line, but the game doesn't care in what order you hit them. And so this has a big kind of routing aspect to it, because you have to kind of decide what route you want to go through all of them. These races tend to be some of the most difficult casually, just because there is so much emphasis on routing.
Oh, I forgot. Exactly, yeah. I lost focus for a second. I was looking at the menu. I was looking at the mini map. Not to worry though, because I think I'm going to win this. There we go. All right, now
nice
we have
race.
the emu. The emu is where we'll see the one of the big tricks. Because if you get from left to right...
So you can see the speedometer in the bottom right. That number just keeps going up when he does that.
It is very terrifying to control, though. So I prefer to do it when there's not many cars on the road, and when the streets are a lot wider. Now we are going to see Maria next. Or not.
I think that worked out because that helped turn her around.
That's really good, yeah, because you managed to manipulate Maria into turning around, making her travel route much shorter.
Yeah, when these racers are just kind of hanging out in the overworld, they have kind of a small loop that they'll go through. But then once you, flash your high beams at them to let them know you want to race, I think they go through some invisible checkpoints. I think that's how the routing works. And so sometimes they won't make the best routing decisions, and so you can kind of manipulate them before you flash the headlights. One common one I've seen is they'll get them to turn at that corner because that tends to make a pretty good line. But in that case, just got her to make a U-turn, and that had a very similar effect. So these following segments are kind of on rails to an extent, but the fact that they are not following a strict path, but rather kind of just AI controlled, means that there are some things you can do to manipulate them, which can help for some of these. But for the most part, you're just kind of following. Because the trigger for starting the race doesn't load in until they reach the end of the path. Yes, and unlocked in-air controls, which you won't see much of here, but basically helps you to straighten out if you jump off of something. Alright, so I'll go ahead and explain this trick here. So, what Veyron's doing here is a trick that we call fishtailing. And my understanding of this is that this game, the developers really wanted to encourage you to kind of drift tightly around corners. And so the game will give you a little bit of a speed boost when you do a drift. And so if you ever played a Mario Kart DS, you might have heard of snaking, where you repeatedly chain drifts to get that speed boost. The fishtailing in Minute Club 2 is very similar from what I understand, but the big difference is that instead of the boost happening at the end of the drift, the boost comes at the start. And so the best way to maximize that boost is to just repeatedly start drifts in alternating directions so that you continue to move mostly forward, but get that drifting boost.
It's also
almost hit that barrier there.
Control.
Yeah, because you're basically in drift 100% of the time, which can make it really difficult to control.
So I'm letting go every so often so I can just take things nice and easy. Play the safe route, essentially.
But optimal fishtailing gets you to the same speed as the nitrous boost, which you've probably seen a little bit, which is kind of a one-time boost you can use. But this allows you to sustain that speed. Yeah,
passing under that truck is always terrifying.
Yeah, that's another bit of scripted traffic. But it's definitely a very cinematic moment where you have to perfectly dodge under it. That's one of those where you can be going too fast there and can actually end up with that truck in a really bad spot. We're also going to see one thing here that we've seen before, but I don't think I commented on it. You'll sometimes see police in this game. So when you round this corner, there's a cop car right there. They don't really do much except get in your way. Now, getting in your way is a lot in this game. But it's not like you could be busted like it's GTA or something.
fishtailing is easier in the EMU.
Yeah, this is one of those things where I've tried fishtailing in a couple of different vehicles, and most of them I've been told that it's like supposed to be possible in like any vehicle, but it's like really only easy in a couple of vehicles. The EMOP kind of being the main one for LA%. But it can be really difficult to get the hang of it.
After this race, I'm gonna switch to the vehicle that Maria has, because it doesn't fishtail, but the cornering is a lot easier, which will definitely help with one of the races in there.
Yeah, a lot of the routing for LA% is kind of figuring out what car you want to use and when. So there's some people, I've seen LA% runs where they go like, they race specifically to a certain racer to get their vehicle and then use that for the rest of the run. But there's also kind of the aspect of it's sometimes better to use like whichever vehicle is best suited for the race. So if you have a race with a lot of tight turns, sometimes it's better to switch to one with better handling.
Now Maria is in front, so I've got to find a way to get past her. No!
Oof.
Oh, she hit the police cars, good.
Yeah, the AI can also hit into traffic and stuff, which can definitely help you if you're in this sort of situation, but it can also be kind of annoying because the traffic doesn't load universally, it kind of loads around you. Which means if they get a big lead, they can sometimes maintain that lead a lot easier.
Alright, next up, we are going to find Gina.
Yeah.
Gina's section of the game, there's a motorbike that we can unlock. It's definitely the easiest vehicle in the LA campaign. Because the acceleration
motorcycles
and
in this game are a bit of a glass cannon. They are very fast. In fact, they are generally some of the fastest vehicles in this game, but it comes with a lot of risk. And so it's something where I don't use them a ton just because I don't always like that risk, but you know, it's definitely very useful if you can get the hang of them.
I find the motorbike to be, like you said, it is riskier, but I find that when I'm a little bit far behind in the later races, the bike helps me accelerate to stay part of the race. And the bike is the reason I turned cinematic mode off.
Yeah. It's the reason why most people turn off the cinematic camera when they run this game. The cinematic camera also controls a few other things. So there's a burnout, where if you're at a dead stop and you want to get a quick start, you hold the handbrake and gas together to get a kind of a little bit of a launch off. But that one will also use the cinematic camera. But other than that, yeah, the main one is definitely the motorcycle.
Jump. This race is pretty straightforward, and there's not really much else to say, so is there anything you would like to announce?
only that we are still open for all donations to QMUNITY. Yes or no to disco is still the open poll. And speedromizer.live/donate or !donate in chat.
No. Oh, no. Okay. I was going to say, we'll donate to both yes and no, so you're on both sides of the argument. Where did you come from?
A lot of the AI racers will use the nitrous on that straight.
Yeah. I normally tend to use the nitrous at the very beginning of the race, so it just keeps my momentum for the rest of the event. Except for this one where using nitrous straight away is not the best idea because of a very sharp corner. So after this corner here, I can nitrous myself.
Yeah. Kind of a tip for casual players I usually recommend saving your nitrous towards the end of the race. This game does have some amount of rubber banding, and so saving your nitrous towards the end helps kind of minimize the effect of that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, definitely one of the strategies in this game is you can definitely mess up your opponents, knock them off the bikes or whatever, spin them out. Because, I mean, if your goal is just to win, doesn't necessarily mean you have to be the fastest. You just have to make sure everyone else is slower.
That's true, actually, yeah.
Yeah, this race in particular can be pretty difficult from a casual perspective, and so that is definitely something I recommend, is trying to knock them off their motorcycles towards the beginning.
This race in particular is why I chose to use Maria's car, the Torida, because of the cornering is much more sharper than the EMU, which we just saw.
Yeah, generally at any given time, you have 2 or so people you could be racing against, and so there is a bit of routing in terms of who you want to face off against, whose vehicle you want to try to go for at any given time.
Oh, 2 wheels there. Okay, and that is the end of that race. We're going to see a motorbike now.
Hete.
Here we go. Bit of wheelie there. Because the wheelie helps with... Okay.
So that's sort of the demonstration of the risk with using a motorcycle. There are a couple of trade-offs. One is that you don't get a nitrous when you use the motorcycle, but instead a wheelie gives you a boost pretty similar to a nitrous. But also, if you hit anything hard enough, you fall off the bike, and you have to wait to respawn to keep going. And also, most of the steering kind of requires using weight transfer, which does sort of affect how you turn, and sort of the physics and all of that. But that's also why we turn off cinematic camera, because otherwise the camera would be trying to pull in every time you lean into a turn, which just makes this really way more difficult to watch than it needs to be.
Whoa! Oh, that was close.
So this here is just sort of a basic kind of tutorial, making sure you're getting used to the motorcycle, so it just has you drive from one end of the city and back, to the other and back. So it's pretty straightforward. You just have a basic time limit. It's pretty easy, even from a casual perspective.
That's because it's a tutorial.
True. A lot of LA is tutorial. You often see that each person he's racing against, he'll say unlock some sort of ability as well. So that's a big part of what's happening here. It's just sort of it's slowly introducing you to more and more complexity. This race is definitely a very fun one. A lot of highway driving.
And this is where it's definitely not at all like Forza. You will not see any motorbikes there.
LAX.
At least your bike and body slid a ways.
It's really nerve-wracking whenever I hit a corner.
Yeah, one thing about doing the wheelies, you do get a speed boost from it, but it also like really hampers your steering angle, and so you have to like really make sure you fully stop the wheelie before you try to make a sharp turn. Otherwise, that can happen.
And that's why you don't do wheelies in real life, kids.
True.
It's a health hazard. Okay.
Yeah,
oh no, don't hit the cop car.
Yeah, the cops definitely make the using the motorcycle even riskier. Yeah, the traffic is another aspect that kind of makes this game somewhat unique, right? That not a lot of racing games have you duck and weave through traffic.
Next up, we're going to find a guy named Hector. I mean, Angel, sorry, not Hector. Also, I'm not in the right vehicle. Let me just quickly fix that. Well, what? Okay, I forgot the setting.
Restart with new vehicle.
Yeah, I am very good at this game, before you ask. Yeah, Angel is the next one we're going to find.
Yeah, Angel's definitely really interesting, especially narratively. Because he definitely shows how this game will like to mess with you sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm pretty sure in one of... Oh, stop hitting cars! in one of the races, Angel jumps the start.
Yeah, and Angel's not the only person who does this in the game. He's the only one that does it in LA, but I think Tokyo has another racer that does it. Yeah, I guess it's worth just making a real quick point of this is LA%, which is going through all of Los Angeles. This game has 3 cities, LA, Paris, and Tokyo. So there is a lot of this game that you'll not be seeing in this run just because it would be a really long run to go through everything here. It's a bit too long for a marathon. Yeah, I mean, if you want to see more of this game, there is definitely more of this game out there for you to find.
Oh, come on. This game's messing with me.
It always does.
Oh, excuse me.
So you may have noticed that Angel there had kind of slowed down a little bit. I do believe they will slow down a bit to let you catch up. So from a speedrunning perspective, it does help to try to stay as close as you can to keep them at their max speed.
Right.
Right, so here we got another unordered race, but because all of the checkpoints are in pretty much some straight lines, there's not a ton of routing here. There's some, but there's few routes that are like significantly better than others.
Oh, okay. That's a bit of a violent crash there.
Yeah, that can make motorcycles really dangerous in unordered races in particular because you'll be a lot of people going in very different directions. So that's true if you're in a car, and in fact, when you have a bigger vehicle, it can be even harder to avoid a collision, so, it's a trade-off there.
It's sort of like a personal preference thing.
Definitely. I think in my submission, I had used Maria's vehicle for this.
Really? Okay, what?
You got corner bumped.
Yeah.
This game definitely has some weird physics stuff going on, and sometimes, curves will definitely, pop you in the air like that. This game is not fully understood. There's definitely some weird stuff with, frame rates that we're still kind of figuring out.
In my PB, I somehow got out of bounds twice.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that happened, it just sort of did. But that's why it's a good game to speedrun though, because you're learning new things all the time.
Yeah. So this race is fairly short, you're just kind of going through this channel here. But this is one where I think narratively you're not even racing Angel in this race, you're racing his dad.
Good way to finish the race.
Yeah, just go over the building. That works.
Yeah. You just gotta make it to the finish line. Doesn't matter in what condition you get there.
There you go, Angel jumped the start just then. Oh, come on. Someone needs to keep a track how many times I've fallen over.
So far, 10.
11.
Yeah, I got one of those little mechanical push counters. I've been getting it every time you bail.
Make a U-turn.
And there's a bit more scripted traffic here because all these trucks try to pull out, which is great because if you're in the lead like that, all of the opponents hit those trucks.
It's perfect.
Oh! Ooh.
Make it 12.
Yep, 12.
Or 13, I've lost track already.
It's 12.
Right, let's go through more glass. Oh, okay, I guess we're going this way. that's Angel done.
Yep. That gets you the Interna? Yeah, Interna.
Next up, we're gonna find Hector. More glass.
Man, the window renovation industry really loves you.
These are glass doors, I think they're supposed to be. But yeah. So Hector's interesting, because if you remember
13.
earlier in the run, we had raced against Maria, and in one of the cutscenes we skipped, she says that Hector is her brother. And so Hector here is trying to get revenge for her sister.
And that business person was attempting to relieve themselves of life.
Yeah, this game is definitely really interesting, kind of in the timeline of the series, because after this, you know, with Midnight Club 3, the series had sort of changed direction in a couple of different ways, and one of the big ones was that they finally started doing licensed cars in Midnight Club 3. So, you know, they now actually have brand names, and it's generally believed that that's the reason why Midnight Club 2 is the last game in the series where you can actually hit pedestrians. That is believed that it was sort of a licensing requirement that they can't show their vehicles being used for something like that. But yeah, it definitely makes this game very interesting, because even though a lot of these cars do have...
Come on, Hector. You just stop for a second.
Yeah, sometimes
sorry?
they'll get stuck. And it's good to help them get unstuck, because if you let them stay stuck for too long, they'll respawn at their initial position. And that could be a major time loss. Alright, I think we're heading back towards the start of the first race here.
So far, the most unrealistic thing about this game is the traffic.
Ravine. Nope, he did not. That is a small time save there.
It's always funny just to see them fall off at the end of the race.
Yeah. There are a couple of races that end at a gas station, which lets you blow yourself up as you cross the finish line, which is a lot of fun.
No, what do
okay, so this is another new race type. It's another new race type, which is lose the cops.
It's this cool.
The idea here is that you basically, the cops will kind of follow you. You can see on the mini-map that it flashes blue and red when they are tracking you, and it turns back to green when they're not. And so you need to reach the finish line without the cops trailing you.
Easy.
Yep.
If I say easy, I messed up the corner, so...
I'll let you...
I think that's the last unique race type for this speedrun. There's a few other oddities in the game, but not in LA.
Maybe it is like the new Fast and Furious games. We might have we might end up going to space, is what I was trying to say. Obviously the road is a little bit slipperier.
Yeah.
Thanks.
There's three types of weather: clear, rain, and fog. And they all kind of affect the races in slightly different ways.
This is the weather you should be seeing in Forza Horizon 4, the one that's set in Britain. Because this is it's what a nice sunny day looks like there. I'm a little bit behind, so it's gonna quickly just...
Yeah. Luckily, this is a straight line to the finish.
So we leave it, and there we go. Slipstream Turbo.
Yeah, this is the last major ability. And also another differentiator for the motorcycle. So a slipstream, you can build up a very nitrous-like boost by following behind another racer. The kind of trade-off being is that it do have a visual blur. Woo.
Oh no, not right yet. You like turn right here.
Yeah.
Oh, the cop car fell over as well.
But the motorcycle is an interesting another effect because the AI can slipstream you, but they can't slipstream a motorcycle. So if you're riding a motorcycle, then they can't get slipstreamed turbos off of you.
My cat was trying to say hello.
Yeah, a lot of cars in this game are definitely like, hello, and just pop up right in front of you.
Being live right now means the cats want to say hello.
Oh. That's always the rule, right? It's like right when you're the busiest, the cats come and want to play.
This quickly.
I feel like every speedrun should have a cat percent.
Yes, I agree. Let's just... Now, I might need to... I'm probably going to restart this race because I don't think... Yeah.
Missed a turn there.
I know, police. Yeah, I'm going to restart this. That didn't end up going very well, so... Yeah. Hold up. After this race, I'll quickly onto the door.
Yeah, that is sort of one thing that raises the difficulty of this game, is you have to come in first.
Yeah.
If you come in second, it's just a loss. You have to restart the race.
It's a little bit annoying, but you have to get used to it eventually.
Yeah, that's definitely something that changed with later games. I think in Midnight Club 3, they switched to like progression being based to in-game currency, and so coming in first will earn you the most.
Yeah.
But if you come in second or third, you still get some money from it, which you can use to upgrade your vehicles and stuff. This one has a much more kind of rigid progression system, which requires you to come in first.
Yeah. Meant to turn left just there. Okay, let's just... Race nearly done, so... I'm terribly sorry. I think someone is at my door, so I've got to quickly answer it. They'll be very quick though.
So far the crash count is at 20.
There we go. I'm terribly sorry about that.
It's quite all right.
Right, this is Dice. He's the last one. Now this guy, the races are a little bit longer with Dice, so...
Yeah, Dice is the city champion, so he is meant to be the hardest racer of the city.
But not for
so
so very
challenge your
long.
knowledge of the whole city. So a lot of these races will span just huge chunks of the map.
And of course I have to hit a car again. That's just great.
These races really remind me of the races in Cyberpunk.
I haven't played Cyberpunk yet. One of these days I'll get around to it.
I actually haven't.
I'll say the most recent game I've played that reminded me of this was Need for Speed Heat. Its night mode races are kind of like this.
That's very fair, yeah.
I feel like the driving controls are also about as floaty, but I can only guess that from the way things are handling.
We'll take the sofa with us. Okay, I probably should have wheeled it a bit down there. Hit this, and then make a U-turn. You are right when we would. Oh, come on. Yeah. Yeah. You are very much right when you talk about the risks of using the motorbike.
This is getting close to the end of the first race against Dice. And there are 2 races.
Yeah. Yeah, we're nearing the end now. Now, next up is the last race of the run.
And you can kind of stealth from that map on the loading screen. The first checkpoint is a pretty good distance away. So the game's very much kind of challenging you to choose the best path there. So there's the slipstream turbo. Perspective, if you're trying to learn these races, a good option is to follow some of the AI racers because they'll often have different paths that each one will follow.
Can you get a slipstream boost off of basic traffic?
No, only other racers.
That's a shame.
see it a ton during the speedrun because these tend to be a bit slower than just driving normally on the roads. But there are a number of kind of really funny like jumps you could do that would just be ludicrously dangerous in real life. But this game really does love kind of taking it to the absurd. As I mentioned, Paris is in this game, and you can definitely like launch yourself off the Louvre Pyramid and stuff like that. This game is very much a blast.
It is. It is really fun. I mean, it's no Forza, but it's still really fun.
It's a very different beast, right?
Yeah. What is happening? Well, I mean, that just shows how risky the bike is.
Yeah. And kind of the wider turning on the bike as well can also make it kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
Nice little cut to the right there.
Alright, so time should be coming up in like 40 seconds, I think. Right? We're pretty close to the end of this race.
Yeah. If I can get there.
Yeah.
Oh, for...
Ooh.
Now I might need to... Unfortunately, I might need to restart the race.
Yeah.
Unless I can get past dice at the last second here. Nah, that's... Yeah, I need to restart that.
Oh, that was close. What was that time?
That was very close.
0.06 seconds.
That was very close.
Yeah, unfortunately that does happen from time to time. A big part of why I didn't submit a longer category for this.
Yeah. So, this is take 2.
Just get to watch more of this great game and hear more of this great engine sound.
Yeah, this game, on the topic of sound, this has a very interesting soundtrack. It's a lot of licensed music, part of why it's kind of disabled now. But like each city kind of has its own like genre. So Los Angeles kind of has a lot of hip hop. Paris is a very kind of house EDM, and Tokyo is a very kind of synthwave slash like I don't know what you'd call it. It's a very, very interesting electronic music sound.
It's actually a really nice soundtrack.
The soundtrack of this game has definitely influenced my tastes in music. And it's also worth noting that for the most part, each racer you race against has like one song that acts as their theme. And so you like, it will play kind of a small motif of it when you're doing the follow segment. And then when you get to the race, it plays the full song. Yeah, no, this is one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, nostalgia definitely plays a big factor in that, but it is definitely one of those game series that I'm sad to see, you know, get abandoned.
Doesn't really have much attention nowadays, but it really should though. It's a really fun game series. I'm really happy to pick this one up. I had a blast.
Maybe we'll see another Midnight Club game in the future, but, you know, it's been
Possibly.
a decade since the last one.
I still have hope.
Obviously, Rockstar is going to shadow drop that instead of GTA 6.
I mean, they could. I think there was like that leak that of Rockstar information, and there was some stuff about Midnight Club 5 in there, though it's hard to tell how much of that was from like the canceled project from way back when. Or at least presumably canceled. I don't know if we have official word of if it was ever officially canceled.
I think, yeah, this race is much better now. I shouldn't have said that. I really shouldn't have said that.
I thought it, but I wasn't going to say it out loud due to, commentator's curse.
This is why you don't say it out loud. Alright, time should be coming up now.
Yeah, time will be when he hits the finish line.
And... time.
Time. Woo!
I'm glad that's over.
Good run. Good run. 32 crashes.
That was great. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for having me on here. It's been really fun. And a very special thank you to Verts for teaching me everything I needed to know.
Yeah.
Not Verts, sorry. Oh. It's been a long day. Special thanks to LR Flu, I meant to say.
Yeah.
Any other shout-outs you want to give?
Just real quick. If this game looks interesting, despite this game being like 20 years old now, it still very much has an active community. Like, in addition to, the speedrun scene, there's people who are making mods for this game. You'll occasionally see people set up, multiplayer races. I think there's still even a competitive capture the flag multiplayer scene. So, like, there is definitely a lot to this game. If this looks at all interesting, or just want to check out some of the other games in this series as well, just, come find. There's a bunch of Discord servers for all of this stuff. There's a lot of people, and we'd love to have more.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And we'll go ahead and transition back to the title page here for a bit, and we'll proceed with setups for the last run of the event. Thank you very much, both of you again.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that was Midnight Club 2 by the inimicable Veyron. Fantastic little bit. We are coming up on the end of my time at the wheel, as it were, here for Speedromizer 8. But before I leave you all entirely, I'm going to give you one more ad.
I've been waiting for too long. Girl, I've been
Okay. It's been fantastic being able to be a host here for Speedromizer 8, everybody. Absolutely love this community. I've really enjoyed my time here. I'm looking forward to Speedromizer 9. It is, however, now the end of my shift. So we're going to go ahead and hand it over to DJ now for the last run of the event, the Hollow Knight Speedromizer. Take it away, DJ.
Good evening, Speedromizer community. Don for holding it down for these last.
We're going to go ahead and
we're approaching Hollow Knight. I have not played Hollow Knight. I have never seen a randomizer. This is going to be one jam-packed 2-hour run. And if you want to help us maximize those donations, can we get to 2,500 by the end of this run? I think we absolutely can. Exclamation mark, donate in chat. We are getting set up for the next run. We will be right back.
I need some time. Oh yeah, I need to rewind. 'Cause I'm craving for a sign. I don't know why, but I keep burning inside. Like a phoenix, I'm trying to rise. I don't know what to do, so I'm leaving the city. 'Cause I can't afford all my demons. I wish that it was true, that you need me to hold you, but I can't control how you're feeling.
All right, Speedromizer community, we are ready for our next run. I say our next run is our final run of Hollow Knight Randomizer. However, we do have a $5 donation from the legendary Undertale speedrunner Ringadon. Sorry, I had the stream open. We have a $5 donation from the legendary Undertale speedrunner Ringadon that just says $5 hype train, let's go. And that brought us to $2,250, and that was to say no to disco. Thank you for that, Ringadon.